Good morning. Morning. I hope you enjoyed yesterday night and the conference. So first of all, I'd like to thank those SINDA members for the vote that I got all of your votes for being the chairman for the coming 2 years. So thank you, and also for the rest of the board that you had trust in us. I also want to say thank you to Peter, Jesper, Kimberly and SINDA for the hard work. This is not always so easy. There is always things we can improve, so I hope next year will be even better. I also thought I'd say a couple of words how I see this industry going. I think we all have been fumbling and seeing how things can happen. And I think that we see that all of us have faced the death of print, or will face it if you haven't faced it yet. Like FCR, we have now half of our countries who don't do print books anymore. I think those who is DA service, you see that your calls are falling between 20 and 40%. So we need to find ways to offer call center services in that markets to keep offer to those also. So where is it going? Are we betting on a horse that's going to die, or will we continue? I think that we have a bright future. If you look to FCR Group, we will be approximately flat on revenue this year. We have a growth in Hungary of 37% this year. I think it's many years ago we have seen such a growth. We have 17 in Romania, we have 10 in the Baltics. We are flat in Slovakia. We also have some places that goes down, but we compensated with the growing ones. So we definitely see that it's a future, and the revenue fall will stop and it's possible to grow again. And we think that that's true of our own search model on internet, but also on the Google AdWords sales, homepage sales, digital media services, automation in different forms. And I think we all have seen some great possibilities on doing it. As FCR, we don't believe in developing ourselves. We think that we are not very good at it, so we partner with others. So I think that's the future, at least FCR see, and we also see that the fall is over and we see a bright future. So I hope that gives hope to those who see the revenue still declining. So thank you, and then I give Peter the word. So have a nice last day. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Can I just check whether we need this light here? Because it's blinding. Do we need that? I need more than, I think I need sun cream. Okay, good morning. It's a good place to start this morning because we're talking about sales, and that's always the area closest to my heart, and we have the issue this morning, cross-selling media advertising effectively. I think we've all learned in recent years that launching new digital products is not particularly difficult in terms of the products that are available and in terms of the development of those. The most critical factor is, can we sell them effectively? And selling them effectively means, do we know what they are offering to the client, and are we able to sell it in a way that can prove the value of that particular service or that particular product to the client? So selling effectively for me is the most important aspect of the next few years of our digital transformation. We have two speakers today that are going to address the issue of sales, and we have different aspects of the selling process, but nonetheless in both of these cases the speakers are supporting the sales process and assisting those that have large sales forces to sell effectively. Our first speaker is Kathrin Steenbecker. She is managing partner of Adderbox. Adderbox is a results-driven solutions company which is selling in many different markets. Kathrin is a sales professional with experience in media, manufacturing, in IT, in finance, and many other areas too. So we start the session today with a real professional in the sales area, somebody who trains salespeople effectively, So we're delighted to have Katrijn with us. Please give her a very warm welcome.
Thank you, Peter. Today is the International Day of Laughter. Did you all know? Seen that? So let's all smile. Great. Selling cross-media effectively. I was introduced as being Katrijn Steenbeke from Adderbox. And indeed, what we do at Adderbox is we offer solutions that always tie into the commercial heart of the company. It can be anything, but it is always related to the commercial heart. There's no market segments that are of any importance to me. I serve many, or we serve many. I could be training in retail, learning ladies how to cross-sell conditioner with the shampoo at the counter. And the next day, I could be coaching a bank manager on how to be customer-oriented when addressing his client. And the next day, I'll be developing a sales academy strategy for a company in B2B2B, selling cooling towers. So it can be anything, but it is always, always related to the commercial heart of the company. What brings me to this table is years of experience in media, as I have worked from 1999 till 2015 on and off with Yellow Pages in Belgium in different functions. So I do, next to banking and all those other areas, I do have a bit of experience in media. So question, is there people in this room who are losing customers because of the digitalization in this world? No, not on the Day of Laughter. Great. Is it a challenge to migrate from print to online in our businesses? Yeah, I think it is. And then, at the same time, you know what? If it may be of any comfort, it is to the advertiser as well. Our SME businesses, they're facing challenges too. Where to position myself in this digital market. So we're all facing the same problems. So what is it? What is it that we need to do? Huh? Do we need to offer a Facebook ad? Or should we rather segment mobile bannering? And should we do it in face-to-face? Or should we maybe even consider outsourcing our sales forces? And how do we make it all happen? How do we train our people to make it all happen? So there's a million of questions, and there's a lot of possible answers. And I'm gonna zoom in to some of these answers. Market segmentation. We talked a lot about market segmentation over the last 2 days. And thank God, we all have good marketeers, and we all have sales planning people who are looking at our markets and trying to make it as segmented as possible. And we all do it in different ways. It can be regional, it can be based on average selling value, it can be based on market segments, on online affinity. There's thousands of ways to segment the market. Market segmentation. And then there's sales automation. Well, I think we all know that the glossy, shiny index pages that we used to sell in Brussels for 30,000 euros 10 years ago, there is no way to migrate 30,000 euros to mobile bannering and Facebook ads for that same customer. It's not possible. So what is the right sales channel? Knowing this migration. And how do we train our people? How do we train our people to still deliver value to the customer? Now that is a challenge. Let's zoom into some of them. Market segmentation. I think we all agree we need to deliver as much as possible good insights to our customers. Our sales reps need to be able to delight their customers, to surprise them, to make them dream, to bring them value. But then, at the same time, most of our sales reps, they're working in 25 different segments. They go and see the plumber, and then they meet the hairdresser, and then they're at a B2B company to end up in a media company with up to, like we heard yesterday, 6 closes a day. Now that is a challenge. Being an expert in all of these businesses is not possible. You cannot expect your sales reps to be experts in 25 market segments, but you can expect them to be experts in digital communication. I'll give you an example. I used to train the salespeople at Elo Touch. Elo is the company that invented touch, 1971. Meanwhile, today, every 57 seconds, somewhere in the world, a touch screen is installed. Very interesting, booming business. And a very well segmented market, because you have touch in gaming, in retail, in automotive, in banking, and in healthcare. Now that's an easy market segmentation. So yes, these sales reps, they need to be experts. They need to be experts in their market segments. Sales reps selling to SMEs can never be experts in all market segments. You cannot expect a sales rep visiting a marketeer in a construction company who has been working there for 20 years to know better than him what to do in construction. But you do want him to be able to tell that same guy that if his website is not responsive, since mobile get-on, he's going to be punished. He's not going to score well in Google. And that is a challenge, and I've seen it happen in different SME environments where we need to make sure that the sales rep sticks to their business, which is selling communication. It is not being an expert in 25 market segments. Sales automation, wow, what a change. It used to be there's a sales rep, there's a seller, and there's a buyer, and there's a linear approach. And we'll walk through that sales call, and we'll close it up nice and fine. It's a different world today. At the seller side, there's a sales rep, there's customer agents, there's digital experts, and they're all involved. They all walk in and out of the sales funnel. And then at the customer side, it's the same thing. It's no longer just Mr. Business Owner who is involved. It's also Mr. Make the website of the business owner who wants to be involved. And maybe there's a digital expert on their side too that wants to be involved. So basically, instead of a linear, simple sales approach, you have a spider web, a network of people that walk in and out of the sales funnel. Another challenge. So sales development, wow. That's not easy, looking at all those things. What do you need to do to develop your salespeople to deliver value to their customers? That's a pretty difficult question. Because we could say, like, in the end, more and more, all goods, not only gas and electricity, but all goods are becoming more or less commodities. Who would have considered buying a Dacia car 10 years ago? Today, a Dacia is a good car, right? If I need to buy a copier tomorrow, I can buy Konica, Minolta, HP, and basically they all offer the product specs that I need. They all copy, they do black and white, they do color, they do double-sided, they staple, they scan, and they mail, all of them. So why will I buy Konica and not Minolta? What will drive my decision? It may be price, it may be service, but it's definitely gonna be the insights that I will get from my sales rep. If he will delight me and surprise me and bring me information on content management, well, he may be the one that I am gonna go for. So who is that buyer we are selling to? Who is that buyer in today's SMEs we are all selling to? What do we know about that buyer? It's a different buyer, that's one thing. I'm not talking about the plumber, but in many B2B environments today, there's 5.4 people involved in the decision-making process. It's the business owner we just mentioned in the spider web. It's the digital expert who wants to have a say. It's a communication guy who wants to be involved. So more and more people in B2B environments are involved in a B2B purchase. 77% of B2B buyers do not speak to their sales rep before having self-educated them through the internet. 77% of buyers. That's amazing, huh? They do not speak to a sales rep before having informed themselves. We had a dinner party a couple of months ago with a doctor, a friend of ours who's a doctor. You know what? They're facing the same problem. There is plenty of applications that allow you to tell you what you have, what your disease is, but you need to get in because you need that prescription. Banking, what a challenge. Belgium this week, ING fires 3,500 out of 8,000 people. The information is democratized, it's everywhere. Why would I want to walk physically into a bank? All the information is out there. So it's a different world where decisions are made through internet and also through peer information. So that's something you need to take into account before you enter the SME. And then there's one last thing. Well, it's not my generation, I'm a bit older, but 55% of millennials have been part of a purchase decision. Millennials are born between 80 and 2000, meaning they're maximum 36 years old. Well, we know what those do. They go to bed with their mobile phone. They even go to the toilet with their mobile phone. Yeah, so how do I need to have an impact on that buyer that I'm going to meet working in my company? We need an approach that absolutely puts the buyer at the center of anything. It's no longer about a unique selling product or unique selling proposition. It's about a unique customer experience. Let's imagine that we're going to the movies tonight. We're gonna watch a James Bond movie. Yeah? Basically, your product is the James Bond movie. Now, this is what happens. I'm driving up to the movies, there's a traffic jam, I arrive late, no parking space left, so I arrive late at the theater as well. I have to queue, out of popcorn, I'm at the first line, playing ping pong to watch the movie, and then by the time I get home, I have a fine. You see, that's my customer experience. If you're gonna ask me in 3 months, how did you like that movie? I'm not gonna be talking about the movie. I'm gonna be talking about my shitty night. It's not the product, it's the customer experience that I will remember. So what? Knowing all of this, what is there to do? We do agree that selling has more and more become a blur. We all agree that it's a spider web of people walking in and out of that sales process. We all agree that we need to segment our market in as much as possible, and that sales rep still needs to go out there and delight his customer. And yet, market segmentation, sales automation, unique customer experience, you name it, one thing will never, never change. The buyer, 25 or 52, will always be looking for an emotional connection. So you need to put that buyer at the center of your communication. The buyer wants to be educated, he wants to be entertained, he wants to be engaged, he wants to be challenged. He wants you to tell him, if he thinks he should buy apples, that he should go for bananas. But you need a damn good explanation. You need to be able to tell him, with all your expertise, why bananas would be better than apples. So here's a model that I have not invented, not at all. Duval Guillaume is actually a communication company in Belgium. And when they do rebranding for their customers, they use a model called the game, the name, the fame, the claim, GNFC. And basically, GNFC is a model that is very easy to use when discovering the buyer at our SMEs. And what it does, it allows you not to jump into that product right away. It allows you to stay focused on your buyer. It allows you not to sell product specs, but to sell true, tailored benefits for the buyer, for the SME. And it absolutely allows you to maximize the human connection that you need during that sales call. So we're not going to run through a whole sales methodology. I'm just going to pick out this one phase, which is discovery, needs analysis at my SME. And there's 4 different blocks that we're going to run through. The name, the game, the fame, the claim. And you can see there on the screen, brick wall, meaning those sales reps, and it's so hard for them. But you have to make sure that they do not cross this line of knowing the name, knowing the game before selling products. The name. Let's take our plumber again. Empire State Plumbing in London. What do I want to know about that business? About that important buyer that I want to connect with? What's his name? Where did he get that beautiful name? What is he selling? What are his products? What are his services? The game. Well, what is he famous for? Who is he competing with? Why would I buy from him? Why would I not buy from his colleague? What are his strengths? Is it 24/7? Or what is his strategy? Maybe he's going to launch himself in the future into doing renovations and replacing old bathtubs with modern showers. I don't know, could be anything. But what is this game he's playing? And what is the field he's playing in? Who is the competition in that game? So do I know, one, do I know everything I need to know about my customer's business? I'm not talking my products. Do I know the field he's playing in? Do I know what he's proud of? What is it? What is the entrepreneur in face of me that I am facing proud of? Only when I have all of that information, I can jump to my second layer, which is no longer my customer's business, but my customer's communication. What is he known for? Maybe he's known for 24/7, but in the end he doesn't like running 24/7 all that much because he wants to be known for those showers that he's going to install in the future. So what is he known for today? What is he famous for? But then on the other hand, what is it he wants to claim? What would he want to be known for? What do you want people to say if I ask them about your business? What is it you want to communicate to your target group? And it's only when you know the name, the game, the fame, and the claim that you can translate. You can translate to the next step, which will then be a solution. A solution covering maybe a mobile website or maybe an SEO consulting program or anything. But do teach your sales reps to stay on the name and the game before moving to communication. What is my customer's business? How does he communicate? Where does he want to get? And how can I wrap that in my tailor-made solution for my customer? Because it's only then, it's only using a right approach and listening, of course, during needs analysis that will allow you to have impact on that buyer in front of you. Because the buyer, like I said, he wants to be educated, he wants to be engaged, he wants to be entertained. That's just a little tip on what I think. And I did well on my time. I took 1 minute too much, sorry.
Thank you, Katrien. That was a very good start to the day. I have a question for you later, but we'll have another presentation first. Okay, our second presentation is from the company Netlinks, which has been for many years in the directory sector supplying integrated systems, and always systems which have a particular focus on supporting the sales efforts. And that goes back to integrated systems of many years ago, as well as systems which satisfy the current situation with both print and online and digital products. Dennis Jung is Senior Vice President of Sales at Netlinks, and he's going to talk to us today about the latest developments within Netlinks of products which support the sales process. We're delighted to have Dennis with us. Please give him a very warm welcome.
Thank you, Peter, for the kind introduction. We already heard quite a few interesting concepts and ideas about how to improve sales, and today I would like to talk about supporting your sales reps to become media consultants. Just to give you a brief idea and background what Netlinks is doing. Over the years, we developed a product suite built around the core system for the data handling, data management, production, billing, for example, with components for sales targeting, sales support, ad production management, page optimization, local search and find, and directory assistance. We have over 25 years of experience delivering successful solutions, business solutions for very well-known and large accounts, for example, like Yellow Pages in Canada. We just recently went live with our core system and made another happy customer we are quite proud of. And we also have 10 plus years of experience developing sales tools. And one of the things our company found was that no matter the product you're selling, a good sales approach requires that you listen to your customer, that you know your customer, and creating a meaningful conversation. Meaningful in the sense of helpful. It was mentioned earlier, educating your customer. And all of this is supposed to lead to an individual and fitting product proposal. A couple of years ago, we conducted a case study with a very large UK publisher, and at that time, most of the products still were print. Our company had developed a product called the Spec Pack, and this was a very sophisticated sales tool that a foldable card that was printed individually for every customer. And the special thing about it was that it was individual and interactive. So according to the input of the customer, the sales rep would fold this card, tear parts off, and all of this would be resulting in an individual sales proposal. And even at that time, when the market started to decrease, the sales could be increased with the same customers, with the sales force, between 23 to 40+%. But what has changed now that there are online and digital products? Most of it was said earlier. The diversity of product is really large. The complexity has increased. It's highly technical, especially when you think about SEO or Google AdWords, for example. And there's a need for constant support and iterative communications. And that led to the development of a new product line called the PowerPack and Webpack sales tools. And these enable you to sell digital, online, and print products. We have different versions to fulfill the needs of our clients, either desktop solutions, but also, for example, software as a service. And they're fully integrated in the core system. I would like to take you through the sales process. How would it look like? How would you work with a system like this? So first of all, you would do your campaign planning. You have different options to target your customers. One would be histories. You could search for certain keys in the history, but also we have a built-in big data analysis that, for example, measure the online performance of your customers, and you can use this performance report to select your customers, assign them to your sales reps, and then the sales reps are also able to filter their customers within the tool for the most promising ones. They can do, for example, the route planning for the day with a built-in map. They can use a calendar to set up the appointments, and they can also organize individual sales presentations. Not only meaning selecting slides, but also allocating already well-fitting products. And also special about these presentations is that they're built-in switches. So according to the answers and inputs of the customer, the presentation will change. We'll take a different path. And the sales manager is able to monitor sales in real time. He sees what the sales reps are presenting, which products they spend most of their time with, and what products they are selling. So the sales rep can use the system either on site, on his laptop or a tablet, but also for example, for follow-up session, he can use the sales tools via internet. And built into the system, we have this big data online performance report built in. So the sales rep could show the customer, look here, your social media performance isn't doing so well, but the best-in-class competitor is doing these things and he's doing much better. So this could be a start for a conversation about a product that fulfills this need. And according to the feedback of your customers, you have the possibility to switch to and take a different path within your presentation. And in the end, you have an individual sales proposal with an individual and fitting selection of products. And then the customer can sign right away on the tablet, on the laptop. The order is then synchronized with the backend, billing is initialized, and also notable, if follow-ups are required, then all your staff uses the same systems. Sales reps, support team, back office, they all can work with the same system, they have the same data available, and this is how you improve your sales approach and have all the relevant information to close the sale. And this is about it. If you have further questions, I'm happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Please, if you have questions, I will just start the question round by asking Katrine, but also Dennis. We talk about changing our sales approach to become consultants, and that we're not just selling a product, we're now selling advice, we're selling a series of products which we are going to select which one's appropriate for which particular customer. Now, from my experiences both in Europe and more recently in Asia, I just wonder if that's realistic. It's very laudable, it's very clear that that has great advantages, but are we really able to have salespeople that will be giving true consultancy advice, meaning I'm going to select from all of my products and offer you the one that I think is best for your needs? That is an enormous challenge, and I'm wondering if our salespeople are equipped to move in that direction. So I'm interested in your response to that. Are we trying to achieve something that's unrealistic?
That's a very difficult question, Peter.
Yeah, sure.
And of course, I don't have the answer either. But I stay convinced that through education of the customer, even with a myriad of products available, in the end, we will never know what the golden proposition for that customer is. But at least we can make sure that we are convinced and confident that what we offer covers part of the needs of what our customer needs. It's never going to be a 1 + 1 = 2. But I do believe that good expertise, having skills and knowledge in digital communication, and listening to your customer first before coming with a solution can create a win-win situation for the customer and for the sales rep. That's my belief.
It's my belief too, and I just wonder how far away we are from it. In many, many experiences of mine when I've been with companies talking first to maybe the CEO and then to the sales managers. They tell me that now salespeople are now selling on value. We're selling consultancy, and then I go out with the sales guy, and no, he isn't. No, he's not. He's selling exactly as he always sold in the past. So there's an enormous mismatch between what management might like to feel is happening and what the reality is. And of course, we never change the fact that we put our salespeople under enormous pressure to be making at least 5 calls a day and to be hitting revenue targets and close targets. And I've heard lots of salespeople say, why don't we just stop setting targets for 2 months so that we can learn how to do things another way? But of course, we never do that. We never can do that. We have to keep, the ball has to keep rolling. We still need revenue coming in every day whilst we're trying to implement change. That's the reality of the world, right? Dennis, do you have a comment on that?
Yeah, well, I think selling is an iterative process. So it's like an experiment. You start with a hypothesis and then implement it, and you have to measure the result. And from that, you keep on going, develop new methods. So it's an ongoing process.
Sure. I think if we do achieve true consultants in this role, then we're going to have to pay them a hell of a lot more than we pay them now, and they're going to become extremely marketable, and we're going to be training for the market, not only for our own company. Okay, any questions from the floor? So yes, we have a question here, Kimberly, please.
Hi, Katrin, this is a question for you. We, rightly or wrongly, bought a directory about 2 years ago. It's been a journey. And we've just now finished print. So this is the first month where we have a purely digital sales team and purely digital revenue. And it's going well so far. Our question is whether we actually change the customers we are selling to rather than the way we sell. We've started to change the way we sell, but we are wondering whether the plumber really is our target audience now we're engaging in digital sales. Should we be talking to small tech companies or white-collar businesses rather than the blue-collar businesses that traditionally have bought print?
That's a good question, right?
It is a good question, but I think the answer is no. Because it's not only blue collar or white collar that is going through the digitization, it's the whole world. So in the end, your plumber or your hairdresser will have to follow, and you will have to educate them. So I would say no, everybody has to go there. There is no way back. Is that an answer to your question? Yeah, you don't seem convinced. You do this. Uh-huh.
We're finding the education piece is taking so long. We have the challenges of all businesses that we need to make some quick wins. One of the quick wins that we made was to dump quite a lot of our national accounts because they just weren't profitable. So they looked fantastic, they brought in a lot of money, but there was no profit there. So we took a decision just to lose them, which was a few £1 million worth of revenue, about 2,500 customers. But actually it's been one of the best moves we've made. And so that's triggered this thought about who do we sell to rather than what do we sell.
I think it's both.
We're just wrong, you know.
I think it's both who do we sell to and how do we sell to them. Is it a tele channel that has to do 15 closes a day, or is it a key account that has to do 2 closes a week, or do you want to outsource your sales? It's not only how we sell, but having a strategy beyond on how do we sell to whom.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Okay, I'd love to run this session for another 3 hours because I think there's enough content. But time's against us, so we bring this session to a close. So please thank both of our speakers, Katrin and Dennis.